everyone, welcome back. It's Rachel from With My Hands and Heart. If this is your first time here, please feel free to subscribe. I upload soap making and bath and body videos once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on how much I have going on. And I also like to share tips and tricks that I learn along the way, if there's anything to share. So I poured my lye water in. I'm just trying to get the last little bits and bobs in there. And then we will start mixing. I love watching that transition from, the separate oils and butters and stuff, and then watching it mix together. That's so pleasing to the eyes. This soap actually went rather fast compared to what I expected it to do. And it's because I added all my fragrance oils in at once. I'm laughing because I should know better. I know this fragrance oil speeds up trace. I knew that in order to do like layers and mixes, I should have poured a little bit out at a time, but I didn't do it. And I don't know why. I just wasn't thinking, or I was trying to rush myself. Not really sure. The colors, I was worried whether they would turn out properly. As you can see, I mixed a lot of different colors together to get all these different colors. And for me, this fragrance oil lightens the soap. Like it will create a white bar if you don't add anything to it. And my bar is naturally kind of yellowish. And it actually makes my bar white. That's how much the fragrance oil changes the makeup of the actual soap. So with that being said, I tried to make my colors super dark. I wanted to make sure that they were dark enough to handle the fact that my fragrance oil was going to be lightening it. So yeah, I actually mixed all the colors up, and then I set them to the side, and I weighed out my fragrance oils and was like, okay, I'll just put this in there and this in there, and I mixed it in by hand, and then it dawned on me how fast these fragrance oils actually go. At the beginning, it's still a little bit watery. By the third or fourth pour, they all started setting up. So I was in a frantic state, like, what was I thinking? It's too late now to think to myself that I'm going to fix this, because there's no fixing it. I just have to put it in a way that it's going to still look how I want it to look. And essentially the goal was to put a whole bunch of white, you can see right there I'm adding some in, a whole bunch of little white flecks in there. And I actually didn't want to use the bigger flecks. I wanted to use the smaller ones, but I did not have time to go through and get them all out of the way. So this is me rushing. Like, a soap that should have took me about an hour and 20 minutes took me 40 minutes to make, because I was rushing and trying to get it all in there, and still trying to remember the design that I had planned and when to add the embeds that I needed. And I only added probably half of what I was going to originally add to the soap. As you can see, it's seriously setting up, and I'm trying to make sure that none of them are, boring. I didn't want them to be boring in any way. I wanted to make sure that I got all the colors in there. I also had a moon embeds that I made, like, completely accident. I was making I was putting the piping on my gingerbread soap. Yeah, I know, I do a gingerbread soap. And then the next week, or a couple days later, I do a bat soap. So yeah, I'm all over the place. That's just the way I am. My head space is just everywhere. So I managed to get many of the colors in like I wanted to. At least I did not add the fragrance oil to the piping yet, because that would have been really screwed then. And these long pieces were a complete accident as well. I still had some piping left in the tube, and I just thought to myself, what if I piped big long lines? I didn't know what they were going to look like. It's obviously a star tip. And I, would pipe these big long lines, and I'm like, you know what, this might work for the bat soap that I had planned. Maybe I can get it to look like a star or something like that. And it did work. I can't believe it. I wasn't expecting it, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at, is I didn't think it was going to look right. I had taken the bigger ones that I had piped out, and I had made this moon embed. I kind of used it like soap dough. Like the second that it was able to be touched, I took my gloves and I took the white pieces and then I sprinkled like a silvery gray mica on them and sprayed it with rubbing alcohol, and then I smushed it all together. I think I used probably about four long pieces and smushed those together, and I kind of pretended it was clay and did like, I think you like roll it together and smush it together, and then you fold it into itself, like fold it in half, fold it into itself. I think I did it about 3 times to get the design that I had. And then I took water, like a little bit of water, and put it on the outside of it to kind of stop it from cracking, because it was trying to crack on me. And I smushed it together then, and then this moon embed ended up looking amazing. I think I could probably do it with like larger pieces if I, planned on it. It'd be easier than trying to put it in a mold, I think. So yeah, it was really setting up on me, and something hilarious happens when I go to pipe it, because I had taken some of the wet soap, and I didn't put any fragrance oil in this wet soap, oh my gosh, in this more fluid soap. When I first made the piping, I wanted to have like a flat surface to pipe onto, so I ended up adding that to the soap and making it more flat. And that saved me. That really did save me, because when it started setting up on me, I was able to take the part of the soap that was in like a big long piece, and I was able to like shove it into the part of the soap that was still like the watery mixture without the fragrance oil in it. If I hadn't have done that, I think I would have had to make like a whole nother batch just to finish off the top of the soap. Thank goodness that I tried to make it flat. So yeah, I'm mixing up the piping and trying to clean up the edges of the mold. I don't want it to have bumps and stuff on the sides, so I tried to get that to kind of flow a little better before I actually tried to pipe. And then when I tried to pipe it, I can't even say it. It actually exploded my bag. I couldn't get it to stick to the part of it that was still wet, which makes sense, and I knew this. And I couldn't get it to come out and go where it needs to go, and it was just all kinds of, no, this isn't coming out. And it was getting hard, and then it exploded right there. Yeah. And then I just took it and I can't even say it. I squeezed it in there, and then I had to smush it down into the soap while laughing. Oh, I got it in there. You'll be happy to know. I'm sorry to laugh so much, but it was just so funny. This little chunk here, I didn't even bother to put in. I just rolled it up and set it to the side. It was completely solid. I made a mess all over the side of my mold. And then I was trying to hurry up and get all this stuff into the soap before it completely set up. I mean, it was really hard. I had to push them in quite hard. I didn't even have a chance to put my gloves on, because I was trying to get these in before it all set up. And then I just added a little bit of black biodegradable glitter, a little bit of navy blue mica in a couple spots, just to kind of give it some definition on the top. And I tried to smooth out, yet give it a little texture, so it didn't look all like wobber-jawed. I mean, it was, obviously, I had to smooth most of it into the mold, so it looked a little funny. But all in all, I was happy that I even got it to work. It was a complete save, in my opinion. I was so excited to cut this and so pleased with the way it looked. Look at that. It is just so awesome. Like, I couldn't believe that I managed to save it. And it wasn't just a save, but it was an amazing soap. And is an amazing soap, I should say. I'm blown away. I wish that I would have added just maybe like a handful more of like the little tiny pieces instead of the bigger white pieces. But I did not have time to go through the bag and grab the smaller pieces from the bottom, as opposed to the ones that I could just grab quickly. Because every second counted for getting this all into the mold. And to be honest, I'm surprised that it even stuck together, because towards the end there, it was close, you know. If it would have been like another minute or two, I think it would have been completely solid and I wouldn't have been able to even use it for this loaf. I would have had to have made some more soap or something. You could even see where like the big log was, and I just kind of smeared it down. But it almost kind of looks cool in a few of those, because it kind of looks like a reflection of another moon or something. I don't know, but it seriously blew me away. You could say I was over the moon. That's a bad joke, sorry. Couldn't help myself. So yeah, sorry my camera is a little bit crooked. I actually thought it was level, and it was to the side just a smidgen, so that's why everything's getting cut like in an angle. Askew. Everything's askew. And I did leave in the cutting of each individual bar because they all look different, and sometimes people just want to see the difference between each bar. And I know when I see like a unique or intriguing soap, I like to see every single bar get cut. So I'm just leaving this in so you can, you know, see what I think other people would like. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and leave me a comment if you'd like. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!